Hello everyone. Today we are going to see how to crack a market entry case. Buckle up and let's get started. So let us first see what a market entry case is all about. Well, a market entry is a type of case interview that asks candidates to evaluate and decide whether a client company should enter a particular market. Sometimes, market entry cases are also part of growth strategies of companies. So now the second question that arises is what a market entry framework is and how does it function? The market entry framework is a tool to assess whether a company should enter a particular market or introduce new products in existing markets by assessing growth opportunities, capabilities, and challenges. However, market entry problems have two variations, according to the Ansoff matrix. First, introduction of an existing product in a new market. For example, Netflix produces its own content to air over its existing streaming service. Second, introduction of a new product in a new market, diversification. For example, Starbucks enters the Chinese market. However, a number of questions arises when we implement these things, and the CEO will face complicated questions like, is the market profitable? Or does the company have the required skills needed to compete in the new market? Or does it have the financial resources needed to successfully enter the market? Or buy a company already competing in the market? Form a joint venture with another company. The high stakes and complexity of market entry decisions are the reason corporate executives facing these decisions often turn to consultants for help. Various types of market entry cases are: first, entering a new geography. Second, targeting a new customer segment. Third, entering a new product or service category. To understand the approach, we have to break the market entry framework. So now let's begin with it and see the steps in which they can be divided into. The first and foremost step is to understand why the company wants to enter the market. Following are the probable common reasons. First, the company wants to increase profit. Second, the company wants to increase revenues. Third, the company wants to invest in a fast-growing market. Fourth, the company wants to gain access to new customers. The second step is to assess the target market and determine whether the market is profitable or not. Now the following questions arise. First, what geographical area will be served? Second, what is the size of the market in terms of revenue? Third, how intense is the competition? Fourth, who are the customers? And what products do they buy today? 5. What is the market's growth rate? 6. What share of the market would the client need to break even? Step 3 is about assessing the client's capabilities. Questions to ask. First, does the client have the capabilities needed to make the new product? Second, do they have the technical skills? Third, do they have the necessary sales or distribution channels? Fourth, what are the main differences between the company's current market and the new market? Fifth, has the company ever done any new market entries in recent years? If so, how successful was it? Step 4 is analyzing client resources relative to the investment needs and expected return on investment. Questions to ask here. First, what fixed costs will be required to enter the market? Second, how long will it take to pay back the company's initial investment? Third, does the company have or can it raise the required capital? Fourth, what share of the market could be captured? Fifth, what are the outstanding risks? Step 5 is financial feasibility. Only move on with this step if you've decided that the estimated benefit of this market entry outweighs the estimated cost. Figure out whether the client company's financial situation can cover investment costs. First, estimate the amount of investment required. Questions to be asked. First, what's the current financial situation of the client? Second, how much will it cost to enter the new market? Third, what will be the ongoing costs once the market is entered, and so on. Step 6 says, if conditions for market entry are good, then determine the best entry strategy to use. Questions to determine. First, when should the company enter the market? Second, should the company test a region first, or enter the whole market at once? Third, should the company establish its own entity, or build a joint venture with a competitor? Fourth, Will partnering allow the company to enter significantly faster than building capacity in-house? For a new product or service, they should ask whether they should first create the capability to build the new product, second partner with someone already in the market. For geographic expansions, they need to ask whether they should first export to the new market from their home country, second, build a greenfield presence in the new country, third, partner with a company that already has a presence in the target market. Step 7 is proposing a method of expansion. There are 3 common strategies. First, partnership. Example are joint ventures, licensing, or joint distribution networks. Second, organic. In other words, they are trade-based entry modes, such as exporting. Third, mergers and acquisitions, forming a new legal entity under one mother corporation. Step 8 is proposing a time frame. Last step is finalizing your execution plan. The final step is to specify your execution plan, containing the key objectives to be implemented. The plan will need to specify tasks to be completed and how they should be carried out. The final plan will be the final deliverable to the client. The client can choose to implement it. Now we have learned the basic framework of market case entry, so let's take an example to make it more understanding and how to apply this in real-life scenarios. So we are choosing the case of a European home automation player which wishes to enter the Indian market. Now we have to figure out how they should go about it and what plans and strategy do they need. Once you get a statement, you should first ask some preliminary questions in order to know the client company in a better way. Questions to be asked here are: could the client give a bit more information about their products, where they are based, and who their customers are? The answer to this question is the client deals in mainly 2 automation components: cameras for security and appliance automation kits for appliance lighting control, etc. The HQ is in Europe, while the manufacturing is carried out in China. Now, first assess if the market is attractive enough or not, and this can be done by getting answer to questions like: what do you think the customers of the client would be now that you have an idea of the business? And the answer would be: for homes, only relatively better off families would install such technologies, while, on the other hand, the technology would be common in commercial buildings and offices. The second thing we have to do is to assess the market potential. Now, for a firm to succeed, market gives them the return they desire. Following questions are to be asked: does the company have an idea about existing competition? What is the benchmark of the company to analyze whether the market size obtained is good enough? According to the client, there are 2 major players, Philips and Havells, who are already into this kind of automation, while others are relatively smaller. They aim to achieve break-even in 3 to 4 years and would prefer a market size of $1 billion. The third step should be of the approach of the firm to grow in the market and how to go about it. For that, they have to estimate the market size by considering the households first, and that a markup of 50% on that would be the commercial demand. To calculate household demand, divide the total number of households in the country into those from rural and urban areas, considering only urban households would install this system. Then, within the urban households, consider only the upper middle and upper class households to purchase such a system. Now, for market entry, there are 4 buckets that we should consider and think accordingly. First, market attractiveness. It includes customer analysis, competition, market sizing, regulatory environment. Second, resources and capabilities, which include product, financial, operational, marketing, HR. Third, execution strategy, which includes start from scratch, merger and acquisition. Fourth, risk and synergies, which includes barriers to exit and reaction by competition. This case can be further solved by looking for competition analysis, taking into consideration the following 4 points. First, large brands like retail or joint ventures not interested. Second, end-to-end automation, which includes system integrators, work with interior designer, and high-end brand names. Third, white goods market of Chinese goods and certain unofficial goods. Fourth, startups are also considered, which are not big in size and exist in Bangalore. guesstimate can be taken care by this method for market sizing. The population of India is 1.35 billion and amount of households is assumed to be 340 million. Market sizing can be divided into either institutional or household. We have done the following segmentation of the population of urban area, emphasizing only on upper middle class, since they are our target audience. Now let us assume price per kit is $5,000 and estimate market share is 10%, then total would come out to be $1.5 billion, which is quite an impressive amount. Now we should discuss about the entry strategy. The following questions should be asked. Since the market is attractive, determine whether the company is financially sound for different modes of entry like starting from scratch, M&A or joint venture. And how about the operational capabilities? What are the distribution channels? As per information given by the client, the company is financially sound and capable. They distribute through retail and e-commerce channels and also provide post-sales installation and repair. It is thereby concluded that there exists a lot of scope to integrate and have synergies with existing players or newer players who are already present in similar product categories. Explain with an example. For e-commerce, the client can partner with Amazon, Flipkart to be their exclusive selling partners. Long story short is here you can go through this and understand the whole case. Following are the recommendations after considering all the facts and notes. Partner up with startups or get new players into the market for partnerships, Tata, Reliance, etc., exclusive sales through Amazon, Flipkart. Bundling with products like Alexa or any other home controller if possible. Thank you all for attending and viewing this video. Hope you liked it, and don't forget to click the subscribe button.